Hey yo, what's good? Welcome to Snug Wrestling. Today we're going to be going over Clash in Italy predictions. Clash in Italy is this weekend, and we got a pretty stacked show where we are going to preview the matches, see what we want to see come out of this PLE, who we want to win, what to expect, and all that good stuff. The whole shebang right here with the Snug crew, Mr. Blood and Toxic. What's up, fellas? Y'all ready for predictions? Y'all ready for Clash in Italy?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. The card actually stacked out pretty nice, but I think a lot of people agree this really is Clash and rematch. It feels like a lot of stuff that are they're running back a lot of stuff here. No Jey Uso, no Diddy, but like when it comes back to it, these Clash in fill in the blank shows have honestly not been disappointments in the last couple of years. I feel like they've been pretty solid to surprisingly underrated shows. So I expect a lot of good shit out of this weekend. But yeah, I'm ready to get into it.
I'm expecting a lot out of this weekend too. Even if every single match on the card is a rematch from either Mania or some other time, but I'm just excited to get into the review or the predictions and ready to watch the show this weekend.
Yes. But first, really quick, man. Did you guys see that fucking nasty picture that Logan Paul posted on his social media? God damn, he got fucked up. He got
No,
really injured
yeah,
on
he
Saturday
tore his
night's main
tricep.
event.
Yeah, he tore his tricep. I was watching Wrestle Talk this morning, listening to the review of Monday Night Raw, and pardon me, Ollie Davis, who heads up that show, said that the like basically the order in which all the Vision entered the group is the same order they got injured. Braun Breaker, then Bronson Reed, or sorry, it was a Seth Rollins, then Braun Breaker, then Bronson Reed, now Logan Paul. All in that order is how they joined the group. And now people are worried, oh God, what's going to happen to Austin Theory? So I thought like the Vision might actually be fucking cursed. I don't know how you all join in that order, and then all of you one after the other get injured back to back in your debut order in that group. That is scary.
Yeah, I mean that shit it looked pretty fucking gnarly. I mean, he got surgery. Logan Paul got surgery immediately. Like the pictures were posted earlier today, which was 3-4 days after his match. So whatever happened to him must have been pretty serious. And the reports are even saying that he's gonna be out for months. So damn, that's fucking well. Stephanie Vaquer too is also gonna be out, I believe. She's injured again.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. She's starting to feel a little injury prone, and I'm wondering if the office is going to start cooling down on her. A lot of that's what happens. WWE gets cold feet when you start getting injured back to back to back like that. Logan Paul has also been injured like 3 or 4 times since he's joined WWE, but I doubt they'll cool him off because he brings too much star power, name value, brand value. They're a partner with Prime. I did see on Instagram Bronson Reed post on his socials that he's recovering. He said like day 78 or something like that. Bronson Reed dropped some weight. He looks great. Looks like a fucking monster. I commented on that post. God save the roster, like because Bronson was already impressive as hell before. Coming back shredded and swole as like the monster he is as Ozilla. Oh my God, I shudder to think the poor soul who gets fed to him their first night back. You know what I'm saying? But he'll be coming back. It looks like sooner rather than later. We've already got Braun back, thank God. Now it's going to be a matter of okay, well, Logan torn tricep. You're talking, at least 6 to 8 months because when Punk tore his tricep, it was about 8 months recovery. So we might not even see Logan until the very end of this year or Rumble season for a return, which sucks. But yeah, man, it's crazy. It's really fucking crazy. But I am excited to see what the hell Bronson Reed debuts like because that's gonna be one hell of a fucking re-debut. But I think we're getting to the point where maybe the Vision might need to be disbanded
Why?
because I mean, how many cool off periods can you have? Like legitimately, like this is the third cool off period that this story will not have, because now we've had to jump the tag titles to Braun Breaker. Now Braun Breaker is no longer in the main title scene. Now he's been dropped down in the mid card scene to run the titles with Austin Theory. They've mixed that story in with Maxime Dupree. So literally Braun Breaker went from main eventing Raw in a world heavyweight title match against Punk to he's a tag champion with Austin Theory. Okay. We have Bronson Reed, who won't be back for another 2 to 3 months. So we're still waiting on that.
I think it's way too soon to even call this a cool off period. Like, we don't even know what's going to happen yet.
It's a cool off period because half the group is out. So the group story has to pause. I mean, now we're focusing on tag team bullshit. So it's
what if Bronson Reed comes back?
He got injured when? Directly after, before Mania. Yeah, he got
it was his qualifying match for Chamber against Jey Uso and Original Americano.
Yeah, so he got injured like literally in February. So February, you're talking, he tore his tricep as well, if I remember, his bicep. It was a bicep tear, off the bone. You're still talking 6 months right there. He
did say day 78, right?
Yeah, it's May, right? So it's only been 3 months for him. He's probably got another 3. Then he'll do impact testing. He's probably not coming back until after SummerSlam. So, that is a large cool-off period. How many stories can you really tell with these guys when Seth Rollins thing has really run its course and it's stale as hell? We're running Oba in a different direction. Punk is nowhere around. He's on a hiatus. What do you do with Braun to keep him fresh? Oh, now he's in the tag division? Come on.
Let me put it this way. How long has the Judgment Day been a thing?
Yeah, but everybody's going to agree that should have ended 2 years ago.
Not everybody, not me.
Most people feel like it should have ended 2 years ago. This is the 4th iteration of that group. 4th.
Right. How long has it?
COVID.
Okay.
It's been too long. That's why no one gave a fuck. A lot of people just didn't really care about the Finn Balor shit because it was great with Finn, but then they wanted to have 2 matches with JD, then finally a blow-off match with JD that mattered, and then there was a match with Dominic. Now there's another match with Dominic, and people are like, no one cares anymore. It's taking too long.
If the Judgment Day has been a thing for this long, 5-6 years, I think the Vision is going to be okay.
Yeah, but the Judgment Day was supposed to end like 2 years ago. And then all the injuries that happened, they had to keep holding off. And Liv gets injured, hold off. Dom gets injured, hold off. Finn got injured, JD got injured, hold off. So the only reason it took this long is because they had to wrap it up with all the characters they wanted to tell the story with. And they still didn't fucking have Roxanne Perez even present for the breakup of Finn Balor. So, at this point, it's a dead horse getting kicked over and over and over again.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I still feel like they still can do a lot with a tag team like Austin Theory and Braun Breaker. That right there, just that tag team alone, it's a fucking amazing tag team, I think. Like, it's on paper,
Yeah. I agree with you. Great tag team. I'm not disagreeing with the credibility, the in-ring acumen we'll see. We're going to see some great tag work, some great shit. The problem is this story's been going on for a year and a month and a half. And Braun went from he's going to be the future to he's in tag team mid-card shit a year later. Like, from here to here, no one talks about Braun Breaker as the future anymore. They've swapped him out for Oba Femi. Oba's the guy now who is where Braun was supposed to be.
The other thing they can do too, it could go either way. You're right. It might put Braun Breaker down in a lower mid card level, or it can elevate the tag team titles too. What if Seth Rollins comes after Braun and is like, hey, I found myself a partner and I want to face you for the tag team titles?
The only real thing I see them tying this in with is, okay, well, we saw the Street Profit stuff. We saw that Montez and Seth wrestled for each other's respect. Seth was trying to end the match on Monday. Like, we don't have to do this, like trying to reason with Montez. Like, we can do that. We don't have to fight each other. Let's fight them. So I can see like Montez and Angelo and Seth going up against Braun. So Braun and Seth are still involved, but I feel like people are getting kind of tired of Braun and Seth being involved with each other. It took so long to get here. I feel like it's lost 40% of interest. Like, I am nowhere near as hyped for anything regarding Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins as I was 2 months ago. You know what I mean? So, but it remains to be seen. I'd still love to see an Obafemi Braun Breaker program this year and keep them both up there neck and neck as like the next futures of the business. And then Bronson comes back. I'd love to see what that looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna keep with my prediction when it comes to Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. I think they're gonna run it back at least 2 more times. The third match being like a big blow off, some crazy stipulation type match. And they're setting up their second match here coming up pretty soon, probably at Night of Champions or something like that, or Saturday night's main event. We'll see.
I mean, I could definitely see them having a rubber match. Where, not sure. SummerSlam still feels really far away to have a rubber match, and I doubt anybody really wants to see them feud another 3 months through the summer. They're going to want a blow off here. We got Clash in Paris. I know we got another Saturday night's main event here in the summer. Isn't there? I'm pretty sure there's got to be some other Saudi Arabia PLE coming up here soon.
Night of Champions.
Night of Champions. They could do it at Night of Champions. I could see Austin Theory and Braun Breaker against the Street Profits at Night of Champions. That for sure I could see happening. Seth costing Braun the match, and then maybe that holds them over to get to SummerSlam, where it doesn't feel like they've been too involved with each other. But it'll remain to be seen.
Yeah. And the WWE, I think it's safe to say they don't really care what the people want to see. They just do whatever they think is best for business, pal, or whatever. So I say they're going to run it back. I think this is my prediction. I don't know. At Night of Champions the second time, and their third match is going to be at SummerSlam.
I wouldn't hate it so long as there's some tag stuff in there with the Street Profits so we can get more of that drama, more of that turmoil, let that flesh out that story. I got a big feeling Montez is turning heel on Angelo, which I wouldn't hate. We love Angelo, we love Montez, but let's be honest, everybody knows Montez is the one that everybody for years has been saying, hey, we want a singles run out of Montez. Montez would also make an insanely good fucking heel. And I could see Montez maybe joining the Vision and then Angelo and Seth team up. And I could see that being a story going forward. Because we still got to get to War Games too. So we got to see what those teams file out like. But yeah, I mean, it all remains to be seen. There's a lot of great possibilities to come out of this. I'm not against seeing Seth and Braun be involved, but they've got to be involved with each other, I feel like, in a bit of a more intricate way. I don't want to just keep seeing one-on-one matches. I want to see these stories have twists and turns. I want to see some drama here. I want to see how it affects the Street Profits more, because to me, that's the most interesting aspect of this story, is how it's been affecting Montez and Angelo personally for me. And then we go from there. But if they do it right, they pay it off well, I'm more than happy to eat crow.
All right, so we're going to get started with the predictions. Tommy wrote in his prediction to us because he's not here with us right now. Did you want to read those off, Blood? No, you can't, huh? You're on your phone, huh?
Nope, I'm on my MacBook Pro, baby. Got my computer back.
Oh, okay. You want to read them?
Yeah, if they're in the Instagram chat, I'm going there right now.
All right. All right.
You can go and start. You can go and start.
All right, y'all. Let's get started with the big tribal combat match between Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu. This is their second match since Backlash. This is a rematch, except they're doing the tribal combat thing. And it's been a fun ride. It's been an interesting story. I mean, the crowd is split when it comes to Roman and Jacob Fatu. Both of these guys get cheered. Jacob Fatu basically wants to come after, not specifically to become the tribal chief, but everything that comes with it, right? That's been the major, I guess, focus point of this storyline. Jacob Fatu wants the better life for his family and, his 7 kids and, the shoe deals and everything that comes with being a world champion, right? Like Roman Reigns, everything that Roman has basically. And Roman Reigns, basically, he's like, I already do all of that for you. I take care of everybody, but that's not enough, right? Jacob wants it all for himself. And after their big match at Backlash, Roman Reigns defeated Jacob Fatu, and Roman expected Jacob Fatu to fall in line and to acknowledge him. after their first match, right? Jacob Fatu said, no, that's not going to happen. So is it going to happen now? That's the big question. After this match, whoever wins, the deal is they're the head. If Jacob wins, he has to acknowledge Roman Reigns. So who do you guys got on this one?
All right, I'm going to start with me, then I'll go into Tommy's, then we go into Tox. But for me personally, it's a toss-up because the longer this has gone on, everybody has said nobody believes that Jacob is beating Roman. No one honestly, truly in their heart, believes they're taking this title off of Roman, right? The problem is they've already announced they are removing Roman from all the build to Night of Champions. The whole month leading up to that, he will not be on any of the shows. But that's in July. So my question is, or June, sorry, that's in June. My question is, I can see two things happening here. Roman retains, but gets such an aggressive, violent beatdown after the match that he's written off for a month. But he retains. Number two, and by the way, that means we get, I believe, I would say the introduction and debut of Zilla Fatu that helps Jacob just decimate the Usos, decimate freaking Roman Reigns. And now we have a new Zilla Fatu on a defunct other bloodline with Jacob, only it's one that would be serious that people would take seriously other than the MFTs. Or I could still see the MFTs getting involved with this match, thinking that they can get Jacob back on their side. But two, let's just say hypothetically Jacob retains. He retains by crushing the larynx, the throat of Roman Reigns. And they use that as an injury angle to write him off for that month. So he skips Night of Champions. My gut still says Roman retains here, but I don't know if he retains clean because their last head-to-head was basically Roman kind of cheating, pulling off the freaking the turnbuckle pad. Jacob freaking bounces off of it. Ref doesn't see it. Roll, that kind of thing. But then again, a heat of the moment. I'm going to say Roman retains. I don't know if I say he retains clean. I think the Usos come out here. I think someone else comes out here. I think it's a fucking hodgepodge ref bump city. Like it's a Roman Reigns match. But yeah, Roman retains. Tommy's going to go ahead and say, yes, this is a different version of Jacob Fatu, but at the same time, he has proved he is not world title ready. And at this point, Roman is being stated for the rest of the summer as his new dates have come out. So I'm going for Roman to retain the world title and the title of Tribal Chief.
I don't have Fatu winning. I have Roman Reigns winning because, come on, it's Roman. Do you really think they're going to have him drop it this quick? It's only been a couple months. So, plus he hasn't lost a tribal combat match with the two that have happened, which is Jay and Solo. So I just don't see Roman losing like that. I do see the Usos getting involved, probably to getting involved first out of anyone. I see Zilla Fatu, but I see him helping Jacob. And then since Roman isn't going to be on the entire build to Night of Champions, I think we could see them setting up for Night of Champions the Usos versus, and I don't know if this is what they're going to call them, but the Fatus or whatever they're going to call them. But it goes into what I've said on Monday. If Jacob didn't acknowledge Roman after Backlash, what makes you think he's going to acknowledge him now? So I could see that beatdown to Roman after Tribal Combat, which is its own beatdown itself. So here's something that I would like to see, but I don't think it's going to happen. I would like to see the MFTs getting involved, not specifically on a specific side, because we know the history with everyone. So we could have Solo, Tama, and Tala just beat the shit out of Roman and Jacob and the Usos and Zilla or whoever you want to come out. And then who are the two that have been feuding with the MFTs on SmackDown? Damian Priest and Royce Keys coming out to fight them off. So I could see that, but I have the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns winning and retaining the World Heavyweight Championship and the Ula Fala.
There is one thing none of us have mentioned yet, and you might be. None of us have thought about the factor of LA Knight here. LA could come in defense of Jacob, because it seems like even though he knows Jacob is going crazy, he doesn't like that it's the old bloodline mentality jumping Jacob. That it needs to be one-on-one, having these multiple people. I could absolutely see that if the Usos, the ref goes down, it's tribal combat, it's no DQ. The ref actually doesn't even have to go down. I could see the Usos coming out here to help Roman beat the piss out of Jacob, and LA Knight has enough. And then LA Knight basically comes out there and just goes, full stop, fuck this, we're not friends no more. I told you, no more of this crap, yada, yada, yada. And then because it feeds into LA's story where he's also trying to win the King of the Ring tournament he's now been slated for. And remember, the winner of King of the Ring isn't just a crown anymore. When you win King of the Ring, it matters. You get a title shot for a championship. And he's trying to get back to Roman. And I can see that story carrying over into them screwing him out of winning the King of the Ring. I don't know if this turns the Usos and Roman heel again, a heel bloodline, but I could definitely see that justification of this story progressing if LA Knight's involved somehow in this finish of this match.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely interesting for sure. Yeah, I got Roman winning this thing too, but I mean, it's weird because you know how we talked about this before. I brought up the question. Jacob Fatu is technically the heel, right? Because he's attacking the Usos, who are baby faces, right? Right. We established that. We talked about it. You said no, he's not. Okay. So if Jacob loses, he's gonna have to fall in line. He's gonna have to fight side by side with Roman. He's gonna have to join them. And I think that from their first match, that's what I wanted to see. Because in my eyes at first, I was confused because I was like, people love Jacob, but he's doing like all these heelish things and getting cheered for. So, I mean, if he joins Roman, that's going to make the people love him even more. So that's what I wanted to see from the beginning, from after Backlash. So that's not going to happen. So that's what I would like to see. However, if for some miracle Jacob wins, isn't that going to turn like Jacob heel automatically? Because the people love Roman. I don't think the people want to see Roman lose, no matter if it is Jacob Fatu. So I don't think with this story and the timing of this, I don't think it makes sense for Jacob to win. So I'm going to go with Roman.
I don't think Jacob winning turns him heel just because people love Roman. Some of the reactions we've seen the last couple of weeks have had the audience actually booing the bloodline for attacking Jacob. Like, they love so much. Like, there were some boos in there when the Usos were super kicking him in the ropes and Roman was cocking up for the Superman punch. They were booing Roman. But the thing is, Roman's such an attraction. Like, when's the last time he was in that town in North Carolina or Columbus, Ohio, wherever the fuck it was? Like, it's been years. So for them, it's a treat. The wrestling brain in them says, oh, I got to boo this because they're jumping Jacob. But then the fan that's like, oh my God, I got fucking Roman Reigns for these tickets and I got to see him in person is like, fuck yeah, OTC, because I don't know the next time I'm ever going to have this opportunity. You know, like, I think that either way, the fans love Jacob. I think it's the follow-up that's going to matter. I think if Jacob falls in line, you don't relegate him to henchman like Solo was. Solo was a henchman in the original Bloodline, but he was the silent enforcer. He was interesting. Roman was afraid of him. The brothers were afraid to step on his toes. He was the guy you didn't want to cross in the Bloodline. If Jacob, who has a full-blown personality, we can get some, I acknowledge you, Roman. I'm in the Bloodline, but don't think that mean you can just boss me around and tell me what to do. I do what I want because I'm all gas, no brakes with it. You know, like, I can see Jacob still being in the Bloodline, but he's the guy that they can't control. They got to pull him back sometimes, but he's a more aggressive, psychotic version of what Solo was originally.
That would be cool.
And we could see some inner turmoil because he could still have stories where he's like, I'm never going to forget that you took my opportunity. You know, I don't listen to you, but I will acknowledge you, and acknowledge you means I follow orders for the majority. But there are going to be times where we get half cocked. You know, Jacob, it goes a little too far sometimes. And I'm okay with that because, again, we've got to build the war games. And I don't know who's involved with war games, especially the way that the roster is right now. but I've got to imagine there's something. I mean, the bloodline just seems at this point tied to War Games. I got to imagine the way the teams are forming and the way that alliances are building. I can honestly see, like, Seth Rollins and LA Knight and Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins on one side and the bloodline over here and this over the Vision, whatever. But no, I don't think it turns Jacob heel because Jacob's a tweener. I mean, he's beloved. He's beloved for being the cool, badass guy. He's like Stone Cold. He does crazy, super crazy shit to anybody, and they're like, "Fuck yeah, he's justified." So I don't think it turns him heel. I think that no matter what you do with Jacob, so long as it's smart booking and it's good storytelling, I think the fans are here for him.
Yeah, no, that's true, but I feel like we have a lot of those tweeners nowadays. Jey Uso, he's doing tweener shit, even though he's yeeting all the time, or he hasn't been yeeting a lot lately. Roman, I don't even know what he is anymore.
Trick Williams feels like a tweener.
Trick Williams. So it's like everyone is a tweener. And you mentioned Austin. Austin was the only one back then. That's what made him so special. And now you got like 10 motherfuckers doing it. So it's like, all right.
I mean, Undertaker was always a tweener too. It depends because
not always, but yeah.
Not American Badass, he was mostly a heel, but he did work with baby faces. But when he was the Undertaker, Ministry of Darkness, those versions, he was a tweener because he went after anybody.
Right.
But my thing is like, there was a report that came out a couple of weeks ago where they said that WWE is starting to move away from the traditional heel and face roles because they want to do more intricate storytelling where the characters are more layered. It's not just a good guy and does good things because he's a good guy. This isn't just a bad guy because he does bad things. They want to layer these characters because people are imperfect and they want their characters to be imperfect because their actions feed into, selfishness. It's my career. You got to cross people sometimes, whether you like it or not. So the report said they're starting to move away from more traditional babyface and heel dynamics, which I kind of like. It's been the same way for so long. I would like to see a wrestling company do something a bit different where it's not just a defined heel role and a defined white meat babyface role. I want to see more of that. Like Jacob is a babyface, quote unquote, tweener, but is he really wrong? He just wants the best for his family. His motivations are extremely pure. He's just going about it in a hyper-aggressive way. So he's layered. I like that. If we keep that up and just keep the storytelling and the writing fitting that intelligently, I think we get some great fucking character work this year out of a lot of talent.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of confusing, but yeah, it's gonna be a dope match either way. We'll see what happens with that. That's one of the matches I'm really looking forward to the most. I feel like. Speaking of perfect and imperfect. Well, mostly perfect. Cody Rhodes is perfect. WWE Undisputed Champion versus Gunther. Gunther he had it, man. He had it all laid out for him thanks to Paul Heyman. The favor came into play, or did it, because all Gunther had to do was sign the contract to get him over to SmackDown. He gets a title shot. And that's it. Every pro wrestler's dream right there. You get to just show up and get a title match. Gunther tried to play a little games with Cody, try to make him beg for Gunther to sign it so he can get a title shot. And then basically Gunther had to earn it. He had to face Royce Keys. He defeated Royce Keys, made him the #1 contender. And now we're getting Cody versus Gunther this weekend at Clash in Italy.
I got to be honest, this is the one that is the hardest for me to choose because I don't know if you beat Gunther here. I don't know if you kill his momentum because he's been on a tear. He hasn't lost in ever. He's been, career killing everybody. You still want to keep that momentum in case he is still the guy on paper to retire Lesnar at SummerSlam. In case they do the whole rubber match with Lesnar and Oba before SummerSlam, and Gunther is still that logical last person, do you really take the title off of Cody and put it on a guy who just stepped on the roster? It is Gunther. It's not like he's just some guy, but Gunther still just got here. But also, do you beat Cody? Like, he just retained at Wrestle fucking Mania. Is there more mileage out of Cody being a champion? Many people like to argue Cody's a better chaser than a title holder. That depends on who's writing the story, honestly, in my opinion, because I can see it both ways. Some of his chases were annoying, like getting back to Drew was terrible, but getting after Roman was great. His first run, I liked the majority of it, but his last one, a lot of people thought it was lackluster and it was annoying. Completely understandable. My problem is, would we be okay with a smudge finish here? Would I be angry if this was a disqualification? Because I don't want to hurt Gunther's momentum, but I don't want to have another Cody title loss, because we know that means he's just going to chase it again. Do we reintroduce Randy here to interfere and attack Cody? Because the way I see it, I would rather, as stupid as this sounds, I want this match in a DQ, because I believe Gunther lost to Cody already, didn't he? A couple years ago.
I think Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
The last time.
If Cody's already beaten Gunther, we know he can do it again. Does Gunther just hop onto the blue brand and now he's the champion? Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I like that. I don't think the fans like that.
Greasy Valentine says Gunther is whack as a champion. Shout out to you on Instagram.
So my problem is, my prediction is this ends in interference. My prediction is I don't have a winner here. I'm picking Randy comes back, interferes, attacks Cody. That's what I'm predicting. And then Randy and Gunther try to jump Cody. Royce Keys comes out for the save. That's what my prediction is. When it comes to Tommy says Gunther does not need to touch a title for a long, long time. It makes no sense why he randomly attacked Cody. So I'm going Cody to retain.
Oh boy, I'm gonna fucking lose it if Gunther beats Cody. I swear. I hate this motherfucker with a passion. That's how much I want him to lose. But I hear people want to talk about, by the way, I'm going Cody, but I hear people want to talk about other people getting handed things, like, for instance, on what I've heard, Jay, Rhea, Cody, Charlotte, Randy, Punk, Seth, etc., etc. You want to talk about getting handed things. Yes, he has earned everything he has done in NXT UK and his entire Intercontinental Championship run, but his first world title reign shouldn't have even happened, in my opinion. He didn't even pin Randy the right way in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. And then he couldn't even handle not being champion for just a little bit. So he instantly went for Jay's title for beating Pat McAfee.
What does that have to do with this match?
It's Gunther. I'm getting to the point, okay?
All right.
Then he gets a title shot at Cody for no reason at all and just for attacking him. If anything, those of you that glaze Gunther are the biggest hypocrites I've ever seen, because Gunther has been handed the majority of his world title reigns. But I will give him credit. Most of his title reigns have been entertaining, except for his second World Heavyweight Championship one. That one pissed me off. But I'm going Cody on this one, and I hope this is a good match. I hope we get a clean finish, because I'm in the same boat as Blood, where I don't know if I want this to be a clean match or not a clean match. Do I want Randy to interfere? Do I want some shenanigans to happen? But preferably, I would just rather a clean match between the two, because their last match they had was clean, and that was Crown Jewel 2024, I think. But I'm going Cody.
Well, unlike the first match, the tribal combat, I think this one, I think it's safe to say we have a clear heel and a clear baby face, right? So it's a one-on-one. It's for the title. It is going to be a good match. I like both of these guys, but I think I'm leaning more towards Cody. I just think maybe I'm just a Cody crybaby for life, dude. I am one of those few fans that think Cody is the guy. Cody should be the champion. And if I had to pick between Cody or Gunther leading SmackDown, I think Cody is just the better person for that top spot on SmackDown for as far as like drawing power, as far as like the different stories that they can tell, and the different layers Cody brings to that main event title scene compared to a Gunther. Gunther's more like a straight shooter. He's more serious, and I like that too. But yeah, I just think it just makes more sense for Cody to go over this weekend, I think.
No matter how people feel about Cody, which is like there's a fucking spectrum of how people feel about Cody. Like it's not like Punk where like you either hate Punk or you love Punk. There is no middle ground. I've never heard anybody go, I can take or leave Punk. No, you either love Punk or you cannot fucking stand him. With Cody, it's I love Cody, but he's boring. I love Cody, but he's stale. I love him when he's chasing, but not when he's champion. I hate Cody when he's champion, but I love him when he's chasing. I hate Cody because he's so boring. I hate like there's a fucking spectrum. For me, when I look at Cody and Gunther, Cody between the two of them, and fans complain about both in the same ways. Handed things. They're both over pushed. Oh, they're both uninteresting. Oh, their reigns kind of suck versus their chases. But fans will also say the same thing. They're both not interesting enough. And to me, when I weigh Gunther and Cody, and I love them both, Cody's more interesting as the main guy on SmackDown. Cody is wildly more interesting. He's also more entertaining. He also has more stories, more credibility with the sports entertainment aspect of it. Like when I look at SmackDown, SmackDown to me is sports entertainment. When I look at Raw, I feel like the more professional wrestling coded talent are on Raw. And it blows my mind they moved Gunther here because he's so Raw coded. I just don't buy him on SmackDown at all. So I don't buy him as a SmackDown World Champion. So I agree with you that I would much rather see Cody still be the head of SmackDown.
Yeah, because if Gunther wins it, who do you put up against Gunther on SmackDown? Who's a big baby face? Yeah, Royce Keys, but I mean, we did see that encounter a little bit, but Royce Keys is getting mixed up more with the MFTs now. Do you just throw Royce Keys in the main event this soon without any,
No, I think you need to let him cook a little bit more in the mid to upper mid card. And like the bigger thing is when you look at like SmackDown, because Raw has stolen so much of their more main event talent, especially in the last 6 months. Most of like the big like SmackDown stars, I feel, are heels. So like, and Drew, he's filming a movie. Freaking Damian, they cooled him off so much. No one's going to want to see Gunther versus Damian again. We got that 2 years ago, 2 times in a row. You have freaking, we could see Sammy.
Randy's a heel.
Yeah, Randy's a heel. Sammy is about to be a freaking heel if he didn't just fully heel turn already last week. And no one wants to see Sammy versus Gunther again. That's a heel versus heel dynamic, and people are already booing Sammy, so they're gonna boo Gunther. So no one gets over in that match. Find me an actual fucking babyface the caliber of a Gunther, a Cody, a Randy that is a babyface on SmackDown that could challenge a heel champion. There's very fucking little to choose from.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I think Cody's gonna win, because you bring up Sami Zayn, they've been having some confrontations backstage. They wrestled last week on Friday Night SmackDown. I think Cody's next big feud is going to be Sami Zayn, especially with all the shows that are coming up in Saudi Arabia.
I would love it. I would love it. I don't care what anybody says. I've been waiting for Sammy to get his moment in the main event scene in the Sun. I don't care how bored you were of his underdog, this or that. I agree. It's hard to call him an underdog when he's main evented in WrestleMania, when he's had all this thing. But don't sit there and tell me that would not be a great fucking match. Sammy versus Cody would be great. That is
SmackDown was dope.
Oh yeah, that's a main event match. I don't care what anybody tells you. That's a main event caliber match. You can kiss my ass in the comments, especially if for a title match, let them go 25 minutes. 25 minutes. Give me 30. These guys are like indie darlings. These guys, have been just doing their best for the last 5 to 6 years of their careers. I want to see it. And I do want to see Sammy be champion.
I was going to say, imagine if he beats Cody.
I know, but I would also love to. I mean, I know that we've all been talking about them holding off on Sammy until Saudi Arabia next year at Mania, but imagine the shock and awe if they swerve us and they put it on him before the summer's over. What would that be like? Then you do have, because of who Sammy is, you do have the Trick Williams babyface who can go after him, the Royce Keys babyface who can go after him. There's more to select from. And if we keep silently moving people from roster to roster like they've been doing, we might see some more people that make more sense for a Sammy to defend. I don't see a heel, I don't see a Sammy versus a Randy in the main event. I don't see a Sammy versus a Solo or a Drew or a Damian, because they're different caliber types of wrestlers. When I think of Sammy, I think of like Trick Williams and Kevin Owens and those kinds of guys. When I look at Cody, I see a Roman Reigns, a Rock, a Randy Orton, a Drew, like that. There's different levels to main eventing talent. You know what I mean? So, keep it on Cody so we can maybe get to Sammy. We've already done Gunther versus Sammy. You know what I mean?
Plus, I would still really like to see Gunther be the one to retire Lesnar.
100% agree. 100% agree. I love Oba, but I kind of like, as much as I can't stand Brock, do not rob me of Gunther versus Brock. I want to see what the chest chops on Brock look like. I want to see that reaction. I want to see if Gunther can powerbomb him. I want to see how many F5s it takes to put a Gunther down. I want to see the Kimura versus the Sleeper. Give it to me. That would be a great fucking match. And I can't stand Brock. And no matter how much Toxic doesn't like Gunther, I guarantee you he would have no problem watching Brock go down to Gunther.
I would not.
All right. Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. This is a rematch from WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken. Rhea Ripley defeated Jade Cargill at Mania for that championship. And since then, these two have had different series of confrontations, promo battles, matches, tag team matches, 6-woman tag team matches. Jade Cargill and her faction have been beating up Rhea Ripley nonstop for the past, month and a half or so. So, yeah, they've been feuding, and they're going to go on to their second match this week at Clash in Paris for the title.
This one's clear for me, man. It's got to be Rhea. I do not need another Jade Cargill experiment. They have done nothing to justify her stable. She was already kicking so much ass. She just needed B-Fab and Michin to help her get her ass kicked. Let me put it this way. It's very rare that you see a champion go in the opposite direction when they have fucking help as a new stable. Like, Jade was wrecking shop, and then she gets the help, and then she starts to lose and loses to Rhea at Mania. And I'm like, you've only had Michin and B-Fab for the month leading into Mania. And now that you don't have them, you're not even, or now that you do have them, you're not even champion anymore. Sure, you can beat Rhea up all the live long day, but Michin and B-Fab get their ass kicked. So I don't know who's benefiting from Jade's stable. I genuinely don't know who the fuck is benefiting, because Jade is a star. She's not Rhea fucking Ripley star power. You know what I mean? She's not Charlotte Flair. So it's not like being with her in a program is elevating Michin and B-Fab. It's getting them on TV more, but it's not elevating them into any credibility. It's not getting them more wins, and people are like, oh my God, I love seeing these girls together. Holy shit, they're a great unit. It's making people go like, okay, we kept them employed and they're on TV and they get booked. That's great. But getting booked isn't enough to elevate you. Okay. And Jade's last run was fucking horrendous. She went 100 days without a title defense or some bullshit like that. Come on. I don't need to see it again. So Rhea Ripley all the live long freaking day, please. Tommy says Jade does not need another title reign. Her last reign was absolutely ass. So I'm going Rhea Ripley to retain. I love you, Tom.
Yeah, I think this is going to be extremely one-sided, like the tribal combat one is, but I just can't do another Jade Cargill reign. She only had one title defense, and that was against Jordan Grace, which it was a good match, but she needs to defend more. But Rhea's doing great with the title, and if you took it off of her, it'll feel like you just took her off Raw for no absolute reason. When she looks absolute way more better. That's not even I don't English, please. But she looks better on Raw. Plus, how do you even go about beating Rhea? I mean, yes, you could say beat Michin and BFAB, but then what about Charlotte and Alexa? Rhea will have help too. So I don't know how you go about beating Rhea without trying to mix up some bullshit on the top of your head. So I have Rhea going over.
Yeah, I think it makes sense for Rhea to be the champion. I mean, she's the top female WWE superstar in the roster. My only thing is like, if they beat Jade Cargill like that a second time, that's just what message is WWE sending? Like, hey, we're done with the Jade Cargill experiment, right? Like, but then what do you do with Jade Cargill if you beat her twice to Rhea Ripley? I guess it's not the worst thing losing to Rhea Ripley, right? Back to back. But I'm afraid it's going to really hurt Jade Cargill. And I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And in that sense, I would not be mad if Jade Cargill wins because it's Rhea Ripley, it's not gonna hurt her as much as it would hurt Jade if she loses, I feel like.
I feel like they booked themselves into a corner here. Okay. Because let's look at this in the long and the short. If Rhea loses, it just does not justify her moving to SmackDown. WrestleMania was a month and like a week and a half ago. Okay. So having her lose right after she has that whole goodbye to EO with her bags packed, the old Incredible Hulk Lou Ferrigno walking down the highway with the piano playing, like going to SmackDown. I'm sorry, as far as I am concerned, moving her so she can drop the title a month later, one, hot shot booking, okay? Two, you just made her a transitional champion, okay, just to pop a crowd, and then you moved it right back onto the person that was not popping the fucking crowd. But then you see the flip side of that. The other part that books you into a corner. You're right. It completely pulls the rest of Jade's credibility away. It completely spits in the face of any of the remaining justification of her having a stable to begin with. If you cannot win with help, you suck. You are Solo Sikoa, okay? Where he could not buy a win as the U.S. champion with 4 motherfuckers at his back. He could not win. So here's my other thing. You also make Charlotte and Alexa look weak if 2 of the most decorated women's champions in WWE history can't handle Michin and BFAB. You know what I mean? Like, love them to death. Glad that they're booked. They're both talented. BFAB's a great talker. Michin, highly underrated wrestler. But it's Michin and BFAB. And in the eyes of the WWE universe, that is undercard talent. And I'm supposed to buy, after the last 5 years of their career on the main roster, that they stand a fucking snowball's chance in hell of being a legitimate, credible threat to Rhea and, to Charlotte and Alexa. That Charlotte and Alexa cannot handle them. I understand Charlotte and Alexa not being able to handle Lash and Nia easily because it's Nia fucking Jax and Lash. They're huge. They're powerhouses. They're a wrecking crew. This is Michin, who could not handle Chelsea Green in comedy fodder. This is BFAB, who was a valet for the majority of her career in the WWE.
Yeah. So, you mentioned Charlotte, and I think that's probably what's next for Jade Cargill if she doesn't defeat Rhea Ripley. which I wouldn't be mad at that. Give me a feud between Charlotte and Jade, non-title, just a personal feud, and I can get behind that. So if that's what they end up doing, then I would not mind seeing Jade get beat by Rhea. If it leads to a feud between Charlotte and Jade.
The last thing I'll say on this, we can move on, is that the only thing that kind of saves them from the like booking into a corner, the hot shot booking, is if Jade does in fact lose to Rhea and goes on to face Charlotte. I hate saying it because Charlotte's my goat, my queen. Charlotte's going to have to put Jade over so Jade gets that credibility back. Yeah. I think Charlotte can handle the loss, but at the same time, it's going to have to really be a justifiable story, a justifiable loss for Charlotte in a justifiable way. And I do not think you can have Jade beat Charlotte clean where people are going to believe it. So it's got to be interference. It's got to be a schmosh finish. But yes, let her lose to Rhea twice and then beat Charlotte. I think I'm fine with that because Rhea has beaten Charlotte, so I can buy Jade beating Charlotte.
All right. The biggest rematch of all pro wrestling history, according to Paul Heyman, Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar, round 2. Obafemi got the win over Lesnar at Mania. Oba is 1-0 over Lesnar. Is Brock Lesnar going to do what he said and not just get the tie, but, give Obafemi the ass whooping in return that Oba gave Lesnar at Mania? Or is Obafemi going to retire Brock Lesnar again for a second time?
I hate that they're doing it for his retirement, his career right now, because I feel like there's got to be a rubber match in the summer somewhere. I genuinely do. I'm going Brock wins here because there has got to be a third rubber match. And then Gunther comes for Brock's career at SummerSlam. So I'm going to go Brock wins here to get his credibility and his win back. Then they go to the rubber match. Oba beats him there. But then because he loses to Oba twice, it justifies Gunther coming after him in August. So when it comes down to it, I personally, Brock Lesnar, it makes sense. Tommy's prediction is Brock Lesnar to win because of the fact that I believe this isn't stopping here. I think it's ending at SummerSlam.
I was in the same boat as Tommy where I'm only fine with Brock winning if Oba truly retires him. But thinking about the possibility of Gunther versus Brock blows my mind. Even though I hate Gunther, just that would be a great match. Technician versus, what do you even fucking call Brock? Powerhouse
brawler.
That. So I don't even know because I just can't pick because Oba, he's doing great on the main roster. He's over as hell, and just what does that ruin his momentum? But at the same time, I don't think it does. I think if you have him win the second match, which I can see them doing that at Night of Champions or Money in the Bank. I think that's after Night of Champions, right? Yeah. So, I don't know, but I'm going Brock, just so we can get that match over with and Oba can win the series that they're having, the 3, because I think it doesn't go to 4. I think it goes 3 or it doesn't go any farther than 3.
I don't think losing to Brock Lesnar is going to hurt Oba in the least. I think if you can lose to anybody and be fine and not lose credibility, it is Brock.
Yeah. Plus, that just reminded me of Royal Rumble 2023 when we saw Gunther and Brock face off. I got hyped for that. So I don't know. I'm hyped, but I'm going Brock.
Yeah, this is one of those matches where I don't even want to speculate or get too analytical because I want to really enjoy this match as a fan, not as like a fucking like smart fan, right? Just a fan. So I'm gonna go Obafemi because I want to see Obafemi win and beat Brock Lesnar 2 times in a row. And I don't even want to think about, well, that doesn't really make sense going into the future or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I want to see Oba go over again on Lesnar because it's going to do wonders for him.
My thing is, if he goes over on Brock 2 times in a row and he actually retires Brock, I am fine with that only if we have a story ready for Oba the moment it's over, going into something else. I was not a fan of he beat him at Mania and then we had a fucking month plus of squash matches. He needs a story to keep his momentum. He needs a challenge and a threat. Beating Brock Lesnar 2 times in a row, the only issue I see with that for Oba is that if he beats Brock 2 times in a row, who the fuck is enough of a challenge for Oba to be a believable, credible threat to him if Brock wasn't? So that's my only thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they can build something else out of that. I mean, who's the champion on Roman?
Yeah, that would be the next logical step, but it's not. But it would have to be like around SummerSlam. I mean, if you beat Brock Lesnar twice, my brain and my heart says you skip the line. You're not fucking like waiting in line for a number one contendership. You beat Brock Lesnar twice and retired him. In my head, that says you're the number one fucking contender. Unless they throw him into the freaking King of the Ring.
Well, that was my initial thought after WrestleMania. When Oba beat Brock at Mania, I was like, okay, Roman is next. And then they had the press scrum where they called each other out. Oba and Roman called each other out. And I'm like, oh, they're going to do it. And they did it. And so it's like, fuck, all right. So, all right.
I mean, I'm fine with Oba and Roman at SummerSlam, but again, all these pieces need to fit. Moving Gunther to SmackDown fucked up a lot of people's ideas of where this was all going. Moving just one player off brand kind of throws everything off because then it's like, oh, well, why did you move Gunther to SmackDown if he's just going to come back over and come after a Raw superstar's career? You know what I mean? So they've got to make it work. It needs to be smart. It can't insult the fans' intelligence, and the booking needs to make fucking sense. It just got to make sense.
Another rematch. This is a rematch from Saturday night's main event. Becky Lynch, the Women's Intercontinental Champion, versus Y'all's Girls, Sol Ruca. And I could have sworn I saw a report that Sol Ruca was injured, but I it was probably bullshit, just clickbait, rage bait bullshit. But I'm pretty sure this match is still going to happen. Sol Ruca is fine. Yeah, after a really weird finish at Saturday night's main event, where Becky Lynch threw Jessica Carr in the way. And till this day, I mean, I've watched the replay a couple times. I still do not know what the fuck Sol Ruca was trying to do there, but it basically led to Becky Lynch getting disqualified, which made good old Adam Pearce make Becky Lynch defend. That was actually Nick Aldis who told Becky Lynch, Adam Pearce said you have to defend that at Clash in Italy now since you wanted to do your shenanigans during this match. So we're going to get Becky Lynch versus Sol Ruca this weekend.
My comments on what happened at Saturday night's main event. I watched that clip 20 times trying to figure out what the fuck happened because the way the camera was shooting it, I think it was hard cam that was getting it, unless because it looked like it was hard cam. Becky, her entire frame is blocking the middle of that image. Like she's in the way on camera. So you can't tell if Sol was able to rotate, if she couldn't. Like, it's hard to figure out. What I pieced together after like 10 to 20 rewatches, and then I even slow-moed it, it looked to me like she grabbed Jessica Carr too close, and Sol like chickened out last second because she couldn't get a full frontward rotation to flip back far enough without probably injuring herself and Jessica Carr. So she didn't complete the move to avoid hurting somebody because like Jessica gets pulled like within 4 feet of the ropes or 4 feet of the turnbuckle. And that was not enough space, in my opinion, for Sol to jump backwards, then flip her feet forward and rotate. She would have kicked Jessica under the chin if her foot had gone the wrong way. I think Jessica just got pulled in way too close. And Sol was just like, fuck, I'll hurt her. I'm just going to have to fuck this up and not complete the move. That's what it looked like to me.
Bro, this is the second time in a month she messes that up.
Yeah, but both times, the first time, Becky looked out of position. This time, Jessica looked too close. It's a very precise move.
Yeah, on both parties, not just Sol Ruca's. That's why I think it's so dumb.
It's on both parties. Jessica got pulled in too close. Becky was out of position the first time because Becky's closer to the fucking rope than she is in the corner where she should be. They gotta get themselves together on it so Sol doesn't lose any credibility with the fans or more credibility. Because now people are shitting on her finisher when she's a great wrestler. It's just there's been an unfortunate set of circumstances in her match finishes. That being said, speaking of match finishes, I think I'm going Sol here. And not just because I'm a massive Sol fan, been following her career for the last 2.5 years and just enjoying everything that she does. I'm sick and tired of watching Becky be the arbiter of this IC title to get people over just so they lose it. Someone loses it back to her and then she's champion again. Like, She got it, took it from Lyra, won it back from Lyra, lost like back and forth with Lyra. Then she went back and forth with Maxine. Okay, then she went back and forth with AJ Lee. Then now we're at Sol. I'm done with Becky being in the IC title picture. I'm tired of it. It's the same shit for a year now since that belt got introduced, where the person everybody's up for holds it, loses it to her, has a couple of matches, loses it back to her. She holds it for the next challenger to be a threat, take it from her. Schmosh bullshit, wins it back from them. The next start, and it's wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. So for me, Sol needs to take it from her, and Becky needs to go back into the women's world title. Let's see Liv versus Becky. Why has Liv been champion since Mania? She's got no fucking story with her championship. So why don't we throw Becky in there? Maybe turn Liv face or Becky face or something, but Becky needs to be done with the Intercontinental title picture. I'm so burnt out on it. Tommy's prediction. I know this is a long shot, but I think Sol Ruca gets the IC title. I know it may be too soon, but at the same time, beating a legend like Becky Lynch will skyrocket her career like what they have done with Oba Femi and the other NXT call-ups. And I agree with Tommy on that one.
I think with the Soul Snatcher, I think it's got to be the same way that I said Javon should do his OG cutters, not from the turnbuckles, only save those for like desperate measures, like how Cody does the Crossroads Trinity. Save those for desperate measures and use the simpler ones on the ropes. I think that would solve a lot, but I have to go Sol on this. And yes, she has yet to get a clean win on the main roster. I say clean because Saturday night's main event wasn't really clean. It was by DQ. So, but because she's faced the best of the best on Raw, in Liv Morgan and Io Sky, but I would like to see her win it because one, to move Becky into the world title scene, and two, it would take three. It would do wonders if she could get it clean and snatch Becky's soul and the title. I'm done with Becky in the Women's Intercontinental Championship division. Throw her in the world title scene.
Yeah, this is one of those matches where it can go either way, and I think I would be okay with it. Sol Ruca just got to the main roster, but then again, it's like, well, Maxine Dupree was a women's intercontinental champion at one point, so I'm like, why not Sol Ruca? It's like, yeah, it wouldn't be the worst thing, but I think I would like to see Becky Lynch in the main title scene. That would be cool. But I also don't think it'll hurt the Women's Intercontinental Championship if it stays on Becky. And the last few weeks, I don't know what it is, but Becky Lynch has been getting over with me more. Like the last promo she cut on Monday Night Raw, where she was looking into the camera, she still did her little goofy line of, Sports Illustrated says it. But besides that, she cut a serious promo staring into the camera, and the delivery was great. I thought I was believable, and I was like, holy shit. I actually enjoyed a Becky Lynch promo. What is going on? So I don't know if she's doing something differently or maybe it's just me, but I think if I had to choose, I'm going to go with Becky.
My only issue, other than what I've previously stated with Becky retaining, aside from the fact that I'm burnt out on her in this division entirely because they just keep doing the exact same thing with her every time, is who else is there for her to face for that championship that is a baby face while she remains a heel?
Bayley.
We've been there, done that a lot last year, including at the Evolution pay-per-view. They have run out of baby faces for her to face for that title that aren't going to be repeats. As far as I'm concerned, if you put it on Sol, who is a baby face, you've got Raquel Rodriguez. You've got Roxanne Perez. You've got a couple of the other, I feel like there's more women in the heels, more heels in the women's division in the mid card than there are baby faces. So when it comes down to it, I genuinely think we've got more mileage out of Sol being champion than we do Becky maintaining and then trying to find viable baby face contenders, especially on Raw. Unless you're going to move Becky to SmackDown, which I doubt they'll do because I'm pretty sure Seth and Becky have stipulated in their contracts they stay together for their kid. What else is Becky going to do with that fucking thing? Who else is there for her to face that isn't a heel versus heel dynamic? I don't want to see Natalia or Natty as a heel go up for it again. We're not going to watch Becky versus Raquel, Becky versus Roxanne. Lives in the world, that's going away. We have Brie and Paige as baby faces, but they're in the tag division. Nikki's injured, so they just got rid of Zoe Stark. What else can you do? My thing. So I'm give it to Sol so we got more possibilities here.
Well, I'm looking up the roster right now just to see some names that can be thrown in there. And I mean, we got Ivy Nile, Io Sky, Maxine, and Lyra.
The only one we haven't seen out of those is Ivy.
Yeah, and Ivy's a heel.
We have we could see Natty's on there, but she's on NXT right now.
And she's a heel too.
Stephanie Vaquer is injured. Raquel Rodriguez is a heel. Naomi's on the roster, but she's not coming back anytime soon. Didn't we get some NXT call-ups recently? Like the girls from Fatal Influence are on Monday Night Raw, but I think they're more in line
they're on
with the
SmackDown.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and Bayley.
Yeah, and we've seen that a bunch unless they're finally going to bite the fucking bullet and let her take it off of Becky.
Oh, Jackie Redmond. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, what if they fuck around and make Jessica Carr go after Becky Lynch next?
That'd be cool.
She did wrestle in Evolve.
Yeah.
That would be cool, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that's what's on the card for Clash in Italy, fellas. Really looking forward to this weekend. So, yeah, thanks to everyone that hung out with us. Hopefully that helped you get hyped up for Clash in Italy. I know we are. And we'll be back very, very soon with a bunch of content. Had a very, very wonderful interview with Mecha Wolf, AAA superstar. That's out now. Go check it out. We talked about his WWE matches. We talked about his AAA matches. That's different stuff, the different hats he wears in AAA. We talked about his power slap career that just started not that long ago. A lot of cool stuff in that interview. Go check that out now. But we will be back again very, very soon. Blood, if you can do the honors, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for kicking it with us here on this episode of Snug Wrestling. Our predictions for this weekend's Clash in Paris for 2026 are officially in the books. And if you missed this live, you guys can always catch us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for all of our show reviews. Of course, we do this on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays after Raw, NXT, and SmackDown go off the air for post-show reviews, respectively. We do 1 hour reviews or random or relevant wrestling topics, I should say, on TikTok Live every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and 8 o'clock Central. Again, that is on TikTok Live exclusively on Thursdays, but those episodes are also uploaded to the YouTube, the Apple, and the Spotify, where you should be following us because we are one of the top-ranked wrestling podcasts in the world. We're actually in the top 3 in a couple other countries. When it comes down to it, guys, you want to support this podcast, you can head on over to teepublic.com. That's teepublic.com/snug-wrestling. And pick up your professional wrestling snug merchandise. We've got almost 100 designs on dozens of different cool pieces of items, apparel, and different things like that. Mugs, cell phone cases, you name it. In fact, just to give you an idea, here is my cell phone case with my own design on it for the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Of course, you can see the t-shirts we've got. We got hats and everything else. You guys can help us and support the channel over there and just keep this channel going. It means a lot to us, helps us out a lot. So, guys, until next time, please stay safe. Stay savage, stay snug. And Snug, I know you don't do it, but Toxic you're here because Tommy isn't. So I said that was one time for the one time, my boy. I said that was
4 letters. One word.
Word.
Yeah.